Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Ish. Now I am ready to prepare our shrimp and catfish po' boys for tonight's dinner. I will be showing you guys all my ingredients. Of course, you are always able to tweak them. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, family. If you notice, I have all of my ingredients out. And of course, you're able to tweak them. Now, if you notice, I have a can of Modelo beer. Usually when I make any type of beer batter food, I usually would use a Budweiser. But I have Modelo, so we're going to work smarter, not harder. Okay? Now, for my choice of meat. Today, I do have some jumbo wild shrimp that will be cleaned and deveined. And we also have some catfish fillets as well. I have just some regular size hoagie buns, some shredded cabbage, excuse me. And then we have some cilantro, tomato. Now I also have my yellow cornmeal, some chicken fry, fish fry, some all-purpose flour, some black pepper, and some sea salt. We'll also be coming back later on to make a quick sauce to go on top of the po' boy, which is just going to be my favorite little sauce that I make on other videos with the Red Devil hot sauce and also the ranch dressing. All right, so let's go ahead, get our meat cleaned up and chopped up, and then we will be back when it's time to get everything battered. All right, so I just completed cleaning and deveining the shrimp. Now, these are the big pieces of catfish fillets that I bought. They're usually about $3 to $4 a piece. They, depend on the store you go to and if they have a sale. Since these are really large fillets, I'm just going to use one, cut it in half, and then slice them into chunks, and then go ahead and just dip them in the batter. Now, I won't be beer battering the catfish only because I was asked not to. I'm just going to be beer battering the shrimp po' boys, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started now and get this sliced up, get everything set up for our batter. All right, and if you can notice, we're almost done with the catfish nuggets that I'm making into nuggets myself. I'm just taking that one big piece of fish and just cutting them in chunks. You can do them as big or as little. If you don't like catfish, you can use whiting, filet of sole, whatever type of fish you like, okay? So this has been cleaned, washed already. Now that I cut those up, we're gonna, all I've done is taken some of the cornmeal and some of the fish fry and just placed it inside and just added a little bit of seasoning to it, just a little bit of black pepper. I'm gonna go ahead now and get the catfish seasoned up, placed inside the batter, and then we're gonna go ahead and start frying those. The shrimp won't take as long, but it's more of those, so we're gonna get these done first. We'll be right back. All right, now that we have all of our fish and shrimp cleaned and deveined, I'm going to pour just the rest of the flour inside of this little bowl. I'm not going to use a lot of the chicken fry, but I do want to use a little of it just to give it a kind of different little taste. So let me open this right quick. And we're not going to use that much, okay? Just want to give it a little different taste. Now, I am going to go ahead now and add a little bit of some sea salt. Just because flour, doesn't have any seasoning. So, we're just going to hit this a couple times. Add some black pepper. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and get ready to put our beer inside. Actually, I'm sitting here looking for the beer and it was sitting there. And I'm actually going to mix all this up first because, just want to make sure that everything is seasoned through. Okay, so we're just going to mix this up. And now we're going to go ahead and get ready to put our beer inside and get our grease hot. We'll start with our catfish nuggets and we'll end with the shrimp po' boys. Let's go ahead and take most of the beer, depending on how much you're making. I really only use the beer because of the yeast in it. Now, if you don't drink or you don't like beer, you don't have to use this. You can use whatever you want. You know, that's the reason I make these videos, to show you guys my ingredients, and then you tweak them, you know, to your satisfaction. That's how we work smarter, not harder. If you guys choose not to have any meat at all, I do have family members that actually beer batter their vegetables and make vegetable po' boys. Something that I've never actually made myself, but self-explanatory, I guess, you know, if you don't want to use any meat. Now we're going to go ahead with the rest of the beer. And we're just going to continue to stir this up until we get the texture we're looking for. Our shrimp has been cleaned again, like I stated. I'm going to most likely cut them down and make 2 out of 1. Just so, in case I want an extra one, if I want to be greedy, I can do that. If you notice, as I continue to go, it does look like, you know, most of the flour was already in the batter. But if you notice, as I continue to go, there is still some white lumps in here. So I'm just going to keep on turning it. And I know I could have grabbed a spatula. I mean, not a spatula, but a whisk. I have a messed up right hand. I've mentioned that before. So for me, certain utensils work better. And it really doesn't matter the utensils that you use, as long as number one, it's clean, and number two, you know what you're doing. So, all right. Now that I have all this mixed up and it kind of looks like a pancake batter, we're going to go ahead now and get all of our shrimp. And we're just going to place them all inside the bowl. Okay. And we're just going to let these sit in here for a while. Let some of that yeast kick in on the shrimp. Get some of that flavor from the corn, from the fish fry, chicken fry actually. And we're going to check our grease if it's hot. And if it is ready, we will be getting ready to start on our catfish po' boys. Now that our grease is warm, I went ahead and placed 1 catfish nugget inside just to make sure that it was good enough to place all the other ones inside. We're going to get the rest inside, get it a nice golden brown, and we'll be back once it's time to flip. Now it has been about 3 minutes since I placed the first batch inside. This will probably make 2 to 3 batches just out of that 1 catfish fillet that I chopped up. We're going to just continue to let this cook maybe about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. It's like I said, it's up to your preference. You're not supposed to really cook fish that long. You don't want to overcook it or make it too tough. So we're going to just let this fry a little more, take them out, and get our first sandwich together. So really quick, while we're waiting on our seafood to finish frying, I'm going to go in and make my little sauce now. I'm going to take ranch dressing. I'm going to take some Red Devil hot sauce. It depends on the kind of hot sauce you like. If you like Louisiana, this tastes similar to it. You can put as much or as little as you want. I'm going to go back and hit this with some citrus. And the next thing I'm going to do is just take a spoon and just start whipping it together, okay? Once we get it all mixed in together, it's going to have a color sort of like animal sauce, if y'all know what that is, or Thousand Island dressing. So this is what it's going to be looking like. And we're just going to actually add this to our sandwiches. So let's go ahead and check on our shrimp. Now while our shrimp is cooking, I just wanted to show you guys the finished work on the catfish nuggets. They are golden brown. They're crispy as well. And then we're just going to let them sit here and then let some of this paper towel dissolve the grease while we're waiting on our shrimp to finish. And we'll be getting these sandwiches ready sooner than later. Now we're going to go ahead with our beer batter. We want to be careful too because this liquid with that grease will pop. So we're just going to take one piece, drop it in. It made no sense to change the grease in and we doing seafood. So I think that should be enough. We're going to let those sit and fry. We don't want to overpower our skillet with too much or the grease start just getting cooler as we fry, okay? So these shrimp won't take nothing but a couple seconds. We're going to get these golden brown. I'm going to put the hoagie bread inside of my Big Boss now to get them a little brown. If you want to put a little butter on in the skillet and fry them on the stove, or put them in the oven or your toaster, whichever way you want to do your hoagie breads. I like mine to be a little warm, so we're going to let these shrimp finish up, get the po' boys, well, the hoagies into the Big Boss on low, and then the sauce is ready. We'll be ready to get these prepared in no time. Our shrimp are done, and if you can notice, they are golden brown. Then we also have our catfish. I still have a couple pieces frying, but I'm going to go ahead and get our sandwiches prepared. All right, the first step to getting the catfish po' boys together, we're going to go ahead with our toasted bread. We're going to actually take some of this sauce and just start putting it on top. Now, for some reason, these hoagie breads didn't want to stay together, but they will be getting eaten, okay? So we're just going to put this slightly on both sides. Then the next thing we're going to do is go in with some of this catfish. Put as much or as little as you want. We're going to try about 4 or 5 pieces. They're pretty big pieces, so if you only want to use 3 or 4, that's fine, okay? Now we will go ahead and put some of this sauce on top. Okay? We're going to go ahead now and hit it with a little bit of lemon juice. Now we're going to take a little bit of our vegetables and we're going to get them all set up. So I'm going to go ahead now, and these are the little containers that I'm going to be using. You can find these little trays at any home food store place or any like equipment place that sells equipment for restaurants, okay? They're just like little sandwich baskets. So we're going to go ahead now. We're going to take our bottom piece, place it down. We're going to go ahead with our top piece. And I just want to show you guys how easy these are to make, okay? So we're going to go ahead, place those inside. We're going to add our coleslaw mix. It's just the shredded coleslaw in the bag. I'm going to add a couple tomatoes. We're going to add a little bit of cilantro on top. We're going to actually go ahead and hit it again with a little bit more of that lemon juice. And this is going to be our first po' boy for the day, okay? Just our catfish po' boy. Now, let's go ahead and get the shrimp po' boy together. Okay, now with the shrimp po' boy, we're not going to be all super fancy. This is mine, and I'm kind of plain Jane, okay? I like it extra crispy with a little bit of sauce. So we're going to go ahead now with the sauce on each side of the bread. I'm not going to use that much shrimp because they are beer battered and they are actually super crispy, and that bread just makes it more fattening, okay? That was one reason why I did not beer batter the catfish. So we're just going to go in with 3 pieces like so. We're going to take a little bit of the sauce, well, the lettuce, place it on top. I'm not a big fan, you know, of this on my sandwiches, so we're going to place this on top, and we're going to get ready to cut up a little bit more cilantro and get our second po' boy together and get some fruit cut up. All right, so actually instead of cutting up some fruit, we're just going to do some cherries in a bag. We're going to put some more of these on top with the cilantro. And I just want to show you guys